Hello there, and welcome to Space Historians. I'm so glad you've joined me tonight. Wherever you are, perhaps nestled beneath a warm blanket, resting softly on a pillow, or letting the night settle gently over your shoulders. This is your quiet corner of the universe, a place where stories are told in whispers, where time slows down, and where your mind can finally, gently exhale. Before we begin tonight's journey, I'd love to know, where in the world are you listening from, and what time is it where you are? It always amazes me how, while the night sky may look different from one corner of the earth to another, the same stars have watched over every civilization in history. If you enjoy these quiet voyages through time, science, and starlight, a gentle like and subscribe help keep this channel orbiting steadily. And for those who've already joined this growing constellation of listeners, thank you. You're part of this voyage, part of this shared wonder. If you softly tap the notification bell, you'll always know when the next story begins. Above us, the night sky stretches wide. Stars breathe their slow, ancient light into the dark. Galaxies drift quietly. And here, beneath it all, your mind is preparing to wander somewhere even deeper into the soft, uncharted landscapes of dreams. Tonight, we're not traveling through distant constellations or forgotten cosmic histories. No, we're traveling inward, into the sleeping brain, into the theatre of dreams. It's a place as vast and mysterious as the stars themselves, a place where your mind tells its own stories, where logic bends, memory floats like stardust, and imagination becomes your companion. As you settle into the night, I want you to breathe with me. Take a slow, steady breath in. Feel the air move softly through you. Now exhale, letting the weight of the day slip gently off your shoulders. Let your mind open, just a little. Let your heartbeat slow. Let the night hold you like a quiet tide. Dreams are one of the last great frontiers of science, a private universe we enter every night, but rarely remember fully. A realm where our brains speak in images, feelings, and strange, beautiful stories. So tonight, as you listen, you don't have to do anything. No thinking, no analyzing. Just float, just breathe, just let go. Because your brain knows how to dream. It has always known. And through these chapters, we'll explore it together slowly, softly, like tracing constellations on the inside of the mind. Welcome to the dreamscape. Welcome to Space Historians. The night begins quietly. No grand arrival, no sudden shift. It begins the way a tide begins, softly, patiently, as the edges of wakefulness loosen their grip. Sleep doesn't come all at once. It drifts toward us like a slow fog, wrapping gently around the edges of thought. You may not notice the moment it arrives, because that moment isn't sharp or loud. It's quiet, a soft blurring of the lines between what's inside and what's outside, between where you are and where your mind is about to go. This is the first drift. Right now, as you listen, your body is already making its small preparations for sleep. Your breathing has slowed. Your heartbeat is easing its rhythm. The world around you is growing dimmer, not just with the setting of the sun, but with the settling of your senses. Your eyelids may feel heavier, your thoughts a little slower, like a river slipping beneath a thin layer of mist. And in this gentle crossing, your brain is beginning to shift its language. During the day, it speaks in focus and words, but at night, it speaks in sensations, in memories, in whispers. Entering sleep is not a simple switch. It's a journey, an invisible descent through layers of awareness. Scientists call these stages N1, N2, and N3. But those are just names for something far more human and ancient. For countless generations, people have felt this same drift. The soft pull of night, the loosening of thought, the opening of inner worlds. At first, the mind hovers in a twilight space. Thoughts still form, but they're softer now. They don't cling to structure the way they do in daylight. You might feel sudden, fleeting images passing behind your eyes, a flash of colour, a memory half remembered, a face, a place, a shape with no name. These are called hypnagogic images, the soft brushstrokes of the dreamscape. Imagine standing at the shoreline of a dark, quiet ocean. The sand beneath your feet is warm from the day, but the breeze is cool now. The sky overhead is a soft navy, brushed with the faint shimmer of stars. Waves lap against the shore, each one slower than the last, as though the ocean itself is falling asleep. That's what entering sleep feels like. A shoreline, a gentle place between two worlds. As the body grows heavier, the mind becomes lighter. It begins to float, untethered. The boundary between memory and imagination grows thin. A thought of something you saw today may unravel into a new shape, part truth, part invention. You are still aware, but that awareness grows distant, as if your waking self is waving goodbye from the shore. Inside your brain, something extraordinary is happening. Slow waves of electrical activity begin to sweep across your cortex. Your senses, once tuned sharply to the outside world, begin to turn inward. The chatter of daily thoughts begins to quiet. Your muscles loosen, your eyelids soften, your breath flows like a quiet tide. In this first stage of sleep, the mind begins to let go of control. But it doesn't fall into chaos. It falls into rhythm, a rhythm that humans have carried for as long as we've existed. The rhythm of night. You might feel as though you're floating, or gently rocking. Some people feel as though they're drifting downward, like a feather through air. Others feel a stillness that is deeper than silence itself. These are the signs that the waking mind is handing the world over to the dreaming one. And then you cross the threshold. You don't notice the exact second it happens. No one does. One moment you're aware of your surroundings, and the next, the edges have softened completely. The waking world has blurred into the dreamscape. This is where your mind steps into its own landscape. The first stage of sleep is fragile. A sound, a shift, a thought can pull you back easily. But when the world stays still and the night wraps you gently, you sink deeper. This is where the body begins its quiet work, repairing, resting, gathering. Your temperature lowers, your heart beats slower, your brain whispers to itself in slow, rhythmic pulses. Scientists have studied this moment carefully, but even they admit something magical happens here. In the dimming of the senses, in the slow falling inward, the mind begins to build the first scaffolding of dreams. Not yet full stories, just pieces, glimmers, a place waiting to be shaped. Imagine walking through a forest at night. The path is soft beneath your feet, the air cool against your skin. You can't see far ahead, but you don't need to. The darkness isn't frightening, it's protective. It wraps around you, guiding you deeper. That's what your brain is doing, guiding you inward. Your body and your mind work together in this transition. Muscles relax, but systems remain alert just enough to keep you safe. Your breathing sets the pace, and in that slow rhythm, your consciousness begins to float away. The hypnagogic stage, the drifting stage, can feel strange if you pay attention to it. A sudden sound might stretch into something dreamlike. A thought may slip from your grasp, then bloom into a full image. Time itself starts to dissolve. Seconds and minutes no longer hold their daytime shape. Everything stretches and folds like silk in water. Somewhere, deep inside, your brain is deciding where to go next, which paths of memory to open, which emotions to explore, which stories to let unfold. Dreams don't begin with clarity. They begin with feeling. And tonight, as you listen, those feelings are already forming. Breathe slowly, in and out. Let the world outside your body fade into a soft blur. Let your thoughts drift like small boats on a quiet lake. You don't need to chase them. You don't need to hold on to anything. The night knows the way. The brain is an extraordinary traveller. It spends 1/3 of our lives in sleep, crossing landscapes it builds for itself. The first drift is its way of opening the door, a quiet, patient way of saying, "Come in, rest, dream." As you slip deeper into this space, small bursts of electrical energy sleep spindles begin to dance across your brainwaves. These are like soft pulses of light in the dark, gentle and steady. They're the brain's way of protecting your sleep, building a quiet barrier between you and the waking world. It's why soft noises fade into the background, why the world seems farther away, even if it's still just outside your door. Sleep spindles are like guardians of your rest. Your muscles grow still. Your mind grows light. You're sinking, not falling, but floating downward. This is where the brain's architecture of sleep deepens. It's where memory begins its quiet sorting, where the weight of the day begins to lift. You may feel, just for a second, a soft jolt, a hypnic jerk, a final wave goodbye from the waking body. And then you are truly inside. The waking world fades, the dreaming brain awakens. The stars in your mind begin to flicker on, one by one. Not stars of light, but stars of memory, sensation, imagination. Some of these stars are places you've been. Others are places that don't exist outside of dreams. Together, they form a private night sky, built just for you. And the tide pulls you a little further. For thousands of years, people have looked up at the stars and wondered about the mysteries above. But the mystery within the mystery of the dreaming mind may be even deeper. Every night, our brains build worlds, spin stories, weave light from memory. And every night, we return to that quiet place where thought becomes something else entirely. That's where you're going now, gently, slowly, safely. Let the edges of your thoughts grow softer. Let the rhythm of your breath guide you. Let the darkness hold you, not as emptiness, but as a quiet ocean. You are entering sleep, not as a stranger, but as someone returning home. The first drift is only the beginning. Sleep isn't a single place. It's a journey with many layers, like descending softly through the atmosphere of your own mind. Each stage is a different world, and your brain knows the way even when you don't. You don't have to guide it. You don't have to think. Sleep carries you. As the first drift pulls you in, the stages begin to unfold. Your breathing has slowed to a calm rhythm. Your body has softened into stillness, and the edges of the waking world have faded into quiet darkness. This is where the architecture of sleep reveals itself stage by stage, like doors opening softly in the night. The first door you passed was light sleep, the twilight stage. Here, thoughts were like faint echoes, and sensations dance gently at the edge of awareness. But now you've gone deeper, into stage 2, where the mind begins to build the quiet walls that protect rest. Inside your brain, electrical rhythms shift. Sleep spindles flicker like distant lanterns. Slow waves ripple gently across your mind, as though an invisible tide is rising. The sounds around you no longer reach you the way they did before. They drift past like distant winds, far away from where you are. Your heartbeat finds a slow, steady rhythm. Your muscles loosen further. The outside world feels distant, almost like another lifetime. Stage 2 isn't dramatic. It's quiet. It's the body settling, the brain building a cocoon around your rest. You're still close to the shore, but you're already floating on deeper waters. And then, slowly, your brain leads you further into stage 3. This is the land of deep sleep. Here, everything slows down. Your brain's electrical activity moves in long, slow waves. These are called delta waves, and they are the language of the body's deepest rest. In this stage, the world outside disappears entirely. Even sounds that might have stirred you before fade into silence. It is in this deep sleep that the body begins its quiet repair. Cells renew themselves. The immune system strengthens. Energy is restored like water filling a riverbed after rain. If the first stage is a shoreline and the second a quiet tide, then deep sleep is the wide, calm ocean at midnight. The mind drifts weightlessly here. Dreams are rare, and if they come, they are soft and scattered. The body is still. The brain is quiet. This is the part of the night that holds you gently without asking anything in return. And though you may not remember it in the morning, your body remembers. It is here that the deepest healing happens. Breathe in and out. Your heart beats softly, like a drum echoing through a quiet forest. Your breath moves like wind through tall grass. This is where time bends. Minutes and hours blur together. You're floating, safe, in the slow rhythm of the night. But sleep doesn't end here. It moves in cycles, and the final stage of each cycle is something extraordinary, the world of REM sleep. REM stands for rapid eye movement. It's the stage where your closed eyes move beneath your lids, as though following invisible stars. And inside your brain, activity blooms again, not like the still ocean of deep sleep, but like a quiet storm of light. Your heart beats a little faster. Your breathing becomes shallower, more like waking, but you remain deeply asleep. This is where most dreaming happens. In REM, the brain stitches together fragments of memory, feeling, and imagination into vivid stories. It pulls from everything you've ever felt, everything you've seen, everything you've thought, but never spoken. Here, the mind becomes a painter, and the night becomes its canvas. Your body, though, is still, completely still. This is because the brain temporarily quiets your muscles, a gentle protection, ensuring you don't act out your dreams. Only your breath and your heartbeat whisper in the dark, and in this stillness, your consciousness slips deeper into stories of its own making. A doorway appears, a room you've never seen before, a forest, a city, a starry sky, a voice you don't recognize but somehow understand. Dreams weave themselves without your permission, and that is their magic. The stages of sleep are not separate worlds, they are a cycle, a rhythm the body moves through again and again each night. From light sleep to deep sleep to REM, from REM back to light sleep, over and over, like the tide. The first cycles of the night are heavier with deep sleep. The body repairs, restores, and rests. Later cycles are longer in REM, where the mind explores its hidden landscapes. Think of it like a journey down a river. At first, the current is slow, winding through quiet valleys of rest. Later, it flows through dreamlike waterfalls and glowing pools of imagination. The river always leads you forward, always deeper into night. You may not feel these transitions. You may not hear the brain whisper to itself as it moves from stage to stage, but the rhythm is there, constant and ancient. Humans have followed it for thousands of years. Every night, no matter where you are on Earth, your brain joins that silent procession through the same cycle. We are all travellers on the same river. Somewhere in your mind, the delta waves still roll like ocean tides. Sleep spindles flicker like stars. REM storms shimmer like auroras behind your eyelids. And your body follows, step by step, without needing to be told. The architecture of sleep is one of the quiet wonders of being alive. Every living creature has its own version of it. Birds sleep in short bursts. Dolphins rest half their brains at a time. Trees and flowers follow rhythms of light and dark. And humans, we drift through these stages like dancers in a slow, silent waltz. Deep sleep for the body, REM sleep for the mind. Both, together, make us whole. When you wake in the morning, you might not remember the journey. You might think it happened all at once. But your brain has been travelling all night, descending and rising, breathing and dreaming. And now, even as you listen, your own sleep cycles are unfolding in their quiet precision. Breathe in and out. The tide continues to carry you. No force, no rush, just the gentle movement of something older than memory. As scientists peer into these stages, they find patterns, brain waves, heart rhythms, cycles repeating like music. But beyond the data, there is something more beautiful. The way sleep holds us without demanding our awareness. The way we give ourselves over to it completely, and it gives us back something even greater rest. Your mind doesn't need permission to follow these stages. It already knows the way. It always has. As the night goes on, these cycles will continue, each about 90 minutes long. With every turn, the mind will dive and rise, drift and return. Dreams will grow longer, deeper, stranger, and the body will rest more completely. You are a traveller on that quiet river, carried through darkness toward the soft light of morning. The stars outside do not see you as awake or asleep, they simply shine. But your brain, that quiet universe within, knows exactly where it is going. Let your breath guide you. Let your heartbeat keep time. Let the cycle move as it always does. This is the hidden architecture of night. This is the map your brain has carried since the beginning. The night grows deeper now. The world outside has quieted even more. And somewhere inside you, without effort, without thought, the dreaming brain is awakening. Dreaming is not like ordinary thinking. It does not speak in logic, or structure, or clear sentences. It speaks in colours, sensations, fragments of memory, flashes of emotion. It speaks in the language of images, the oldest language the mind has ever known. Every night, as you sink into REM sleep, your brain becomes an artist. It picks up fragments from your day, the scent of rain, the brush of someone's hand, the sound of a voice, the way sunlight filtered through a window, and it begins to paint with them, not to tell you a story you must understand, but to create a space for your mind to wander. In this moment, your brain is more active than it was in wakefulness. That surprises many people. It seems strange that, in the quiet of sleep, the brain would light up like a constellation. But that is the mystery and the beauty of dreaming. Behind your closed eyes, billions of neurons are firing softly. Your visual centers, those parts of the brain that see, come alive, even though your eyes are closed. Your emotional centers awaken too, bringing warmth, intensity, and feeling. But the logical parts, the parts that structure time, sequence, and consequence, grow quieter. That is why dreams bend the rules of waking life. Why one place can turn into another without warning. Why people appear and disappear like starlight through a moving cloud. Why you can fly, or breathe underwater, or walk through a door and find an entire galaxy waiting on the other side. Your brain is not trying to confuse you. It is giving you a playground for your inner world. A soft place where memory, imagination, and emotion can flow freely, unhindered by the rules of the day. Scientists studying dreaming often compare this state to a kind of waking imagination, but deeper, richer, more visceral. The dreaming brain is awake in its own language, awake in color, awake in story. Think of it like standing inside a film theater where your mind is both the playwright and the audience. The stage is limitless. The lights dim and brighten at your whim. The set changes without a sound, and you softly, quietly wander through it as both traveller and witness. You've been doing this since before you could speak. Infants dream. Animals dream. It is something woven into the fabric of life itself. The dreaming brain awakens like a tide. It does not burst forth like a storm. It rises slowly, curling around the edges of your consciousness, pulling you gently into its current. And once you are there, the world it builds feels real. It doesn't matter that the floor might turn into water, or that your childhood home is floating in the stars. It doesn't matter that someone long gone might stand before you, smiling. Dreams do not need permission to exist. They simply do. And what is remarkable is this. While you are dreaming, your brain is also working, sorting memories, weaving emotions into context, strengthening connections that will help you navigate tomorrow. This is why dreams can sometimes mirror what's inside you. Your hopes, your worries, your quiet, unspoken thoughts. But they do so not with words, but with symbols, with landscapes, with gestures, with moments that feel like whispers. The dreaming brain does not speak in answers, it speaks in questions wrapped in starlight. Imagine this moment as a small spark glowing in the darkness. That spark is your mind's way of opening a door. Step through it, and suddenly you may find yourself on a cobblestone street beneath a starry sky, or floating weightlessly in an endless ocean. You may see faces you know, or places you've never been. You may not know why they appear, and that's perfectly fine. Dreams don't explain themselves. They simply let you wander. Some dreams are bright and vivid, painted with every colour the mind can conjure. Others are soft, like sketches made of mist and memory. Some arrive like stories, unfolding with a beginning, middle, and end. Others flicker like candlelight, brief and quiet, and even when you don't remember them, your brain does. It records their movements deep within the folds of memory. It lets the emotional currents ripple beneath the surface of your waking life. It's why sometimes, on quiet mornings, you may feel something without knowing why, a softness in the chest, a trace of wonder, an echo of somewhere you've been but can't name. That's the lingering touch of a dream. Your breathing is steady now, your heart is calm, and your mind is wandering gently through this private constellation. The prefrontal cortex, the seat of rational thought, is hushed. The amygdala, where emotion lives, is awake. The occipital lobes, where vision blooms, glow like lanterns, It's as though your brain has dimmed the lights of reason and lit the fires of imagination. And here, in this strange and beautiful state, the world inside becomes larger than the world outside. Breathe in, breathe out. Let the edges of your thoughts soften even more. In dreams, time bends. A second can stretch into hours. An hour can collapse into a heartbeat. Stories can bloom and vanish before you even know they've begun. There is no beginning here, no ending, only the quiet unfolding of the mind. This is why many cultures throughout history believed dreams were messages. Some thought they came from gods. Some thought they were glimpses of other worlds. Some thought they were the soul travelling while the body rested. And though today science gives us new language neurons, REM sleep, brainwaves, the wonder is still the same. Dreams remind us that we carry entire universes inside us. And every night, when the world grows dark and quiet, those universes awaken. Your mind may be wandering now through spaces only you can know. Perhaps a soft meadow beneath a violet twilight. Perhaps a starry sky above a mirror-still lake. Perhaps a city that glows with no name. Wherever you are in this landscape, you are safe. This is your world. This is your night. The dreaming brain is ancient. It has walked with humanity since the beginning, and it will continue to walk with us, night after night, whispering softly in the language of images. This is not just sleep. This is the opening of the inner cosmos, and as you sink deeper into it, know that you don't have to remember it. Dreams are like shooting stars, beautiful not because they last, but because they pass softly through the dark. You are drifting through your own night sky now, weightless, unhurried, free. The dreaming brain is awake, and you are inside its gentle tide. The dreaming brain speaks a language unlike any other. It does not use sentences. It does not follow rules of grammar or logic. Its language is older, softer, and far more fluid. When we dream, we enter a realm where the mind communicates in images, sensations, symbols, and feelings. It is a language that drifts like mist, always moving, always changing shape. If you try to grasp it too tightly, it slips through your fingers like water. But if you let it flow softly, quietly, it begins to reveal its gentle rhythm. Some nights, the language of dreams comes in bright, vivid colours, a sunlit forest, a silver ocean, a star-filled sky. Other nights, it is soft and shadowed, painted in muted tones like moonlight through fog. But it always speaks directly to something deeper inside you, something far beneath the surface of thought. A face might appear familiar, but not quite. A door may open onto a place you've never seen. A single word may echo in your mind, though no one has spoken. The feeling that lingers is often more real than the image itself. This is how the dreaming brain speaks to itself, through meaning without explanation. Scientists often say dreams reflect fragments of waking life memories, sensations, emotions. But these fragments are rarely presented in order. Dreams are collages, not stories. They are whispers, not speeches. It's like hearing music in a language you don't understand, but somehow feeling every note. Your brain uses symbols to express what it cannot say in words. A falling feather might not be about feathers at all. A forest might not be a forest. A hand reaching toward you might not be a hand. Each image is a vessel, carrying an emotion, a subtle, private message from deep within. And the beauty of it is this: you don't have to translate it. You don't have to turn the dream into meaning. You only have to feel it. Dreaming is a conversation between different parts of your mind. The rational, waking world steps aside. and the intuitive, emotional world takes the stage. This is why dreams can feel both strange and familiar, because they come from the deepest parts of who you are. Imagine a night where you walk through a glowing city. The buildings are made of glass, and they rise and twist like living things. The streets are empty, but a warm breeze follows you as though it knows your name. You don't know why you're there. You don't need to. The feeling is what matters. The feeling is the language. That same language can whisper through other dreams too. Perhaps you're standing at the edge of a forest, but the trees are bending toward you as though they're listening. Perhaps you're floating above a silver ocean, but the water seems to hum like a voice you can almost understand. Perhaps you're standing in a room that once existed, but it feels larger, deeper, endless. None of this needs explanation, because the dreaming brain isn't telling you facts. It's telling you feelings. As researchers map the sleeping brain, they find that during dreaming, the limbic system, the part of the brain that processes emotion, is alive and glowing with activity. It hums gently, like a lantern burning in a quiet room. Meanwhile, the prefrontal cortex, the part that sorts and analyzes, steps back. This is why dream logic isn't logic at all. It's emotion first, story second. The language of dreams speaks through memory too. It reaches into the shelves of your mind and pulls out pieces, small, delicate fragments, and sets them down in new combinations. A hallway you walked through years ago becomes a bridge across the stars. A voice from yesterday becomes a whisper in a forest that doesn't exist. A place you've never visited feels like home. The dreaming brain is not limited by the borders of time or place. It doesn't care about past or future. It weaves everything into a single moment, and that moment becomes the dream. Breathe softly now. Feel the air move slowly through your chest. Notice how quiet your body is, how gently your mind drifts. You are already inside this language. You've known it all your life. As a child, your dreams may have been wild, bright, boundless, unafraid. Children dream with open hands because they have not yet tried to make sense of everything. As we grow older, the waking mind becomes louder. It begins to question, to analyze, to shape the world with structure. But dreams never stop speaking. They simply wait for night to come. The symbols that appear in dreams aren't fixed. They belong only to you. A river might mean peace to one person and fear to another. A mountain might be challenge or wonder, or simply the memory of a place long visited. Even silence can speak in the language of dreams. And the most beautiful part is this. Your dreaming brain isn't trying to hide meaning. It's trying to speak in the only way it can when words are asleep. It speaks in the curl of a leaf, the way a star falls, the sound of a whisper that never fully forms. It speaks in places that don't exist but feel as though they always have. It speaks in the warmth of a hand, in the weightlessness of flight, in the shimmer of water beneath moonlight. Let your breathing slow even more. Let the weight of your body sink deeper into the quiet. Let your mind wander without fear of losing the path. Because here there is no wrong direction. Every road is part of the dream. When people awaken from vivid dreams, they often say, "I don't know what it meant, but it felt real." That feeling is the language. It is what lingers after images fade. It is the soft residue of the night's conversation. And sometimes, dreams can do something extraordinary. They can hold two things at once. A place that never was can feel more real than anywhere else. A moment that lasted seconds can hold the weight of a lifetime. A single word whispered in the dark can echo forever. That's the power of the language of dreams. It doesn't need to convince you. It only needs to be felt. Even in science, even in the quiet hum of EEG machines that map brainwaves, this language can be seen. Patterns of emotion, bursts of imagery, the mind lighting up in places where stories are born without words. You don't have to decipher it tonight. You don't have to carry it with you when morning comes. Just drift. Just listen. Just breathe. The language of dreams was here long before we learned to speak. It is as old as the human mind itself, shared by everyone who's ever closed their eyes and let the night in. So as you lie here beneath your own private sky, know that your brain is speaking to itself in a tongue only you can understand, a language woven from feeling, a language soft as starlight, a language that asks nothing of you but to rest. Let it flow through you like wind through trees. Let it gather around you like mist on a quiet lake. Let it speak, and let yourself drift deeper into its current. Tonight, the dreaming brain speaks, and the night listens. The night has wrapped itself gently around you. Your breathing has found its quiet rhythm, and somewhere deep in your mind, dreams continue to rise like stars over a still horizon. But a question lingers in the dark, soft, like a whisper at the edge of sleep. Why do we dream? It's a question as old as humanity itself. For centuries, people have gazed at the night sky and wondered not only about the stars above, but about the strange, vivid worlds within the ones that appear when the eyes are closed and the mind drifts into sleep. Some believe dreams were messages from gods. Others thought they were prophecies, glimpses of the future. Some saw them as reflections of the soul, wandering freely while the body rested. And though science has peeled back many layers of this mystery, even now, no single answer can fully contain what dreaming is. Because dreams are not just one thing, they are many things at once. They are science, and they are wonder. Breathe in and out, and let this question float gently around you like a feather in the night air. When you dream, your brain is not idle. It is alive. Electrical signals sweep across the landscape of your mind, linking memories, feelings, sensations. Images bloom where thoughts once were. Colours unfold where silence used to be. Dreaming is a kind of night work, a soft labour your brain performs while you rest. It doesn't ask for your permission. It simply begins, because it must. One of the most widely held scientific ideas is that dreams help process memory. During the day, you collect countless moments, tiny details, passing feelings, fleeting impressions. Your brain stores them, but it also needs a way to sort them. At night, during REM sleep, it begins its quiet sorting. The day's fragments are sifted gently, like sand through open fingers. Some are kept, some are woven together, some are let go. It is in this sorting that dreams arise. A single memory might fuse with another, distant one. A voice from your childhood might mingle with a place you walked through yesterday. Your brain stitches these fragments into scenes not to confuse you, but to help make sense of your inner world. But dreaming is more than a filing system. It is also a form of emotional healing. When we are awake, our minds hold on to feelings we often don't have time to process. Worries, joys, fears, hopes. In dreams, those feelings can flow freely. They rise without filters, swirl through images and sensations, and soften like waves against the shore. This is why dreams can carry such powerful emotions. Why a single image can make you feel joy, or sorrow, or wonder so deeply that it stays with you after waking. It's not the image itself, it's the feeling beneath it, finally finding its way to the surface. Some scientists describe REM sleep, the stage where most dreams occur, as a nighttime therapy session the brain gives itself. Without judgment, without pressure, just emotion, memory, and story intertwined. And still, dreaming reaches further. Some theories suggest dreams are the brain's way of problem solving, a quiet laboratory where it tests solutions to challenges it couldn't solve during the day. You may have felt this before waking with sudden clarity, or an idea that wasn't there the night before. That clarity may have come from the quiet work of dreams. The mind, even in sleep, is never still. Other theories reach into the evolutionary past. Long before cities, long before written language, our ancestors slept under open skies. Their brains dreamed too. Some researchers believe dreaming may have been a kind of night watch, a way for the brain to simulate dangers, rehearse responses, prepare for survival. A rustle in the forest, the sound of wind, a flicker of light in the dark. The brain, even then, would have turned these into stories, keeping the sleeping mind alert enough to awaken if something real stirred nearby. But dreams are not just for defense, they are also for creation. Every invention, every great story, every quiet insight has at some point been touched by dreams. They offer the mind a space without limits, a canvas without edges. It's why artists and scientists alike have spoken of inspiration that arrived not during the busy hours of day, but in the soft, shadowed hours of night. Think of it, the mind, free of gravity, free of time, free of reason's boundaries. Here, a single spark can become a universe. A passing thought can grow wings. And yet, for all their mystery and beauty, dreams do not need to be extraordinary. Sometimes they are simple, a quiet room, a familiar face, the feeling of wind on your skin. Even in their smallest form, they are the mind's way of breathing. You may not remember most of your dreams. Few people do. But even the ones forgotten shape you quietly, leaving faint fingerprints on the edges of your waking self. The softness in your chest when you rise, the quiet clarity that appears for no reason, that's the echo of the night's quiet work. As you lie here, breathing slowly, you're part of something humans have done for as long as we've existed. The mystery of why we dream may never be fully solved, not because it's beyond us, but because it's woven too deeply into what it means to be alive. The truth is, we dream because we are human. We dream because our minds need to wander. We dream because, in the silent hours, the soul whispers what waking hours cannot always hear. You might imagine your mind now as a vast observatory beneath a starry night. Thoughts and memories orbit like constellations, emotions drift like quiet comets, dreams rise like galaxies, forming and fading in the dark. No one needs to explain the stars for them to shine, and no one needs to explain dreams for them to matter. The question of why we dream is not a riddle to be solved, but a doorway to wonder. Each night, that doorway opens without effort. Each night, your mind steps through. Breathe in slowly. Breathe out gently. Let that quiet truth settle like stardust around you. We dream because we must, because somewhere deep inside, beneath all the noise of the day, the mind carries stories it longs to tell itself. Dreams are not interruptions. They are, in continuations, soft rivers flowing beneath the surface of thought. And as the night deepens, you are carried deeper into that river. Safe, warm, weightless. The night is deep now. Outside, the world has grown still. And within you, the gentle machinery of sleep is turning quietly, like a vast and patient clock. This is where the most mysterious stage of sleep unfolds. REM sleep, the realm where the dreaming brain shines brightest. If deep sleep is the still ocean, then REM is the quiet storm that blooms upon its surface. Breathe softly. Let the air flow in and out of your lungs like a tide. Feel the weight of your body sinking into the mattress and the lightness of your thoughts lifting away like smoke into the dark. Your brain is entering one of its most active and beautiful states. Though your body rests, your mind is alive, more active than it was when you were awake. The networks of your brain light up, not in harsh bursts, but in a soft, glowing symphony. This stage, REM rapid eye movement, gets its name from the flickering of your eyes beneath closed lids. They dart gently back and forth, following invisible stars, tracking the shifting light of inner landscapes only your mind can see. During REM sleep, your cerebral cortex, the outer layer of the brain, hums with activity. This is where perception, imagination, and memory intertwine. Your limbic system, the emotional center, glows brightly, bringing warmth and depth to the scenes your mind creates. Meanwhile, the prefrontal cortex, the seat of logic and order, grows quiet. That silence is what allows the dream world to ignore rules. It is why a river can flow upward, why night can turn into day in a heartbeat, why you can walk through walls or float above mountains. The dreaming brain has the keys to every locked door. Yet, even as your mind explores vast and impossible landscapes, your body remains perfectly still. This is one of the remarkable things about REM sleep. Your brain temporarily softens your muscle tone, a protective stillness, ensuring that you don't act out the dreams your mind creates. It is not a cage, it is a cradle, a quiet boundary between the world of night and the waking world beyond it. As scientists observe REM sleep, they see patterns as beautiful as they are complex. Brainwaves quicken, resembling wakefulness in their rhythm, but they carry an entirely different kind of purpose. Heart rate rises slightly, breath grows shallow and even, and tiny electrical bursts spark across neural pathways. It is as if the brain, though deeply asleep, has begun to whisper in bright, colourful threads. During this stage, your brain is doing remarkable work. It is processing emotion, weaving memory, nurturing creativity, and rehearsing life in quiet, symbolic ways. Some call REM sleep a theatre, others call it a workshop, but perhaps it is best described as an inward night sky, a place where your inner constellations shift and shimmer. This is the stage where most dreams occur, the vivid ones, the strange ones, the ones that leave faint fingerprints on your mind even after you wake. These dreams are often layered with emotion, story, and sensation, and though they may seem random, they are built on a foundation of your thoughts, memories, and feelings. In REM sleep, time bends. What lasts only minutes in the real world can stretch into vast dreamscapes, entire journeys unfolding in the space between heartbeats. This is one of the brain's oldest and most elegant tricks, to step beyond the boundary of time, to explore the infinite, softly, without ever leaving your bed. Breathe in and out. Let that thought settle gently like a falling feather. REM sleep is also vital to emotional balance. In this stage, the brain softens the sharp edges of waking life. Feelings that burned brightly during the day are revisited at night, but without the rush of adrenaline, without the sting. It's as if the mind takes a deep breath and lays each emotion out carefully, like pages on a table, examining them under starlight. This is why, after deep, dream-filled sleep, the world can feel different in the morning. not because the world has changed, but because your mind has. Inside the REM stage, your hippocampus, the brain's memory archivist, plays a subtle, patient role. It pulls fragments from the day and weaves them into the fabric of dreams. A sound you barely noticed might reappear. A feeling you couldn't name might take form. The past, present, and imagined future merge like rivers meeting in the sea. Meanwhile, your amygdala, the seat of emotion, glows like a lantern. This is why dreams often feel so powerful, so saturated with meaning even when they make no logical sense. They speak directly to your emotional self, bypassing the rational mind entirely. REM sleep is not just a story, it is a kind of healing. The mind rehearses, the heart recalibrates, the body rests, and together they make something greater than the sum of their parts. The most beautiful thing about REM sleep is that it comes and goes in waves. You don't dive into it once and stay. You move through it again and again, each cycle growing a little longer, a little deeper. The first REM of the night may last only a few minutes. By the last cycle, it can stretch close to an hour. Each return brings new stories, new colours, new ways for the brain to speak to itself in the darkness. This rhythm is ancient. It is shared across species. Cats twitch their paws in REM sleep, chasing silent prey in dreams only they can see. Birds' eyes move beneath their lids, as if tracking invisible flight paths through an unseen sky. Even whales and dolphins experience their own versions of this mysterious, essential stage. We are not alone in dreaming. Sleep is a language the living world speaks together. As your body lies still, your mind is dancing in places no map could ever show. A door opens, a field stretches out beneath a violet sky. A forgotten voice hums a tune that only exists here, in this hour. You do not control it. You do not need to. The brain has its own current, and it carries you with grace. Scientists have mapped the stages, named the structures, traced the pathways. But even with all this knowledge, REM sleep retains its mystery. It is not just a physiological state. It is a dreaming state, a state where what's inside us becomes a world unto itself. Breathe deeply now, in and out. Let your mind float through this invisible tide. What happens in REM sleep may never fully be captured in words, but it does not need to be. It only needs to be felt. Every night, as REM sleep rises like a hidden moon, the dreaming brain awakens and weaves its silent stories. It has done so for millennia. It will continue long after this night has faded into memory. The science of REM sleep is the study of something both ordinary and extraordinary. The way we drift into a world we cannot see, and return with the quiet fingerprints of stars on our minds. And tonight, you are drifting through that world, cradled by breath, carried by silence, wrapped in the gentle pulse of the dreaming brain. Memory is like a river. It flows through us quietly, shaping who we are, carrying everything we've seen, felt, and loved. But even rivers need stillness to deepen, and it is in sleep and dreams that memory finds its still water. Every night, as you sink deeper into rest, your mind begins its quiet work of sorting and storing, not through filing cabinets or perfect order, but through dreams, soft, flowing, luminous dreams. Somewhere in your brain, as your body lies still, your hippocampus comes alive. It is the librarian of your mind, the gentle keeper of memories. During the day, it gathers moments like loose pages, faces, sounds, words, colours, emotions. And at night, while you dream, It begins to weave those pages into something lasting. Breathe slowly. Feel your chest rise and fall with ease. The night has grown deep, and memory is at work beneath the surface. When scientists peer into the sleeping brain, they see that during certain stages, especially REM sleep, the hippocampus and the neocortex engage in a quiet conversation. They pass signals back and forth, like two friends whispering in the dark. The hippocampus offers up the fragile, short-term memories of the day. The neocortex receives them, tucks them into place, and lets them settle into long-term storage. But this conversation is not a dry transaction. It happens through images, feelings, sensations. It happens through dreams. This is why so many dreams feel familiar, even when they're strange. Why you might find yourself walking through a hallway you knew long ago. Why a voice you haven't heard in years might hum softly in the background. Why a moment from earlier today might reappear warped, reshaped, but unmistakably yours. Your brain is not trying to confuse you. It is remembering. It's as if the mind takes the day's moments and dips them into a pool of imagination, letting them blur, soften, and find their place. Not every detail will stay. Most will float away like leaves on a river, but just a few will settle deep into memory, waiting to be found again when you need them most. Dreaming and memory are inseparable. They are two sides of the same quiet night. Breathe in, breathe out. The hippocampus works while you sleep, not in frantic motion, but in slow, deliberate rhythm. It replays patterns of neural activity from the day, tiny sequences of thought and sensation, like music being played again softly in the dark. This replay helps your brain keep what matters. It's why you can remember a face, a path, a sound, even after the world has moved on. And just as importantly, dreaming helps the brain let go. Not every moment is meant to stay. Some pages are gently released, carried away on the night wind. This forgetting is not a flaw. It's a kindness. It makes space for tomorrow. There is a softness to the way the mind decides what to keep and what to release. It doesn't do it with strict rules. It does it through emotion. A fleeting smile, a warm conversation, the sound of rain, a quiet feeling you can't name but can still feel in your chest. These are the moments most likely to stay, not because they are loud, but because they are meaningful. As you dream, fragments of your life intertwine with fragments of your imagination. The walls between past and present dissolve. A school you once attended becomes a garden beneath the stars. A friend from childhood walks beside you down a road that doesn't exist. Your mind is weaving threads between memory and meaning. This weaving is what makes your story your own. Sometimes, when you wake in the morning, a single image from a dream lingers like a faint light. A house, a colour, a feeling, and even if the dream itself fades, that feeling can stay with you all day, shaping your mood in ways you may not even notice. That too is memory at work. Not loud, not forceful, just quietly flowing through you. Researchers often describe sleep as a memory consolidation process, but that phrase is too small for what really happens here. It isn't just storage, it's transformation. The brain doesn't just keep memories, it tends to them. It gives them shape, colour, weight. It lets them breathe. In these quiet hours, your dreams are the bridges between the past you've lived and the future you'll build. Every connection made tonight will ripple gently through the days to come. Breathe slowly. Feel the softness in your chest. Know that your mind is caring for itself in ways you cannot see. Even the act of forgetting has a beauty to it, Imagine a river at night, carrying fallen leaves downstream. The river doesn't mourn the leaves it lets go. It flows, as it always has. Your mind does the same. It keeps some moments, it releases others, and through this rhythm you remain whole. Sometimes a dream will bring back a memory long thought forgotten, a scent from childhood, a place you once stood, a laugh that belonged to someone far away. It arrives uninvited, wrapped in the language of images, and for a brief moment the past and present overlap. That's the quiet magic of dreams and memory. They are never truly separate. The mind remembers not as a machine remembers, but as a river remembers through movement, through reflection, through endless gentle change. And this is why sleep is so essential to being human. Without it, memory frays. Without it, our stories scatter like sand in the wind. With it, they find their way home. As the night deepens, the cycles of REM and deep sleep continue, each one another conversation between memory and dream. Your brain doesn't ask you to guide it. It doesn't need your conscious hand. It knows the way. Breathe in deeply, exhale softly. You are part of this quiet river. When you wake tomorrow, the world may feel just a little clearer, not because anything outside has changed, but because something inside has settled. A quiet ordering has taken place beneath the surface of your sleep. Memory and dreaming have done their gentle work. And tonight, as you float in this rhythm, your brain holds your story tenderly, not in rigid lines, but in flowing curves. It keeps what matters. It lets go of what doesn't, and it sings to itself in images only you will ever know. You are resting inside your own river of memory, and the current carries you forward, softly, steadily, toward the light of morning. They shape the world behind your closed eyes, even more than images or words ever could. While your body lies in stillness, your emotional mind is awake, quietly glowing like an ember in the night. Breathe softly. Feel the air move in and out of your lungs. The night is silent now, but inside, your brain is alive with feeling. Dreams are not built from logic. They are built from emotion. Every moment, every shift, every strange turn in a dream is coloured by feeling joy, fear, wonder, nostalgia, comfort. Even when dreams are hard to remember, the emotions they leave behind linger like warmth in a room long after the fire has gone out. This is because during REM sleep, the amygdala, the brain's emotional centre, comes alive. It pulses softly, like a lighthouse in the dark. Meanwhile, the parts of the brain that organize, plan, and structure the world are quieter, resting. This balance is what gives dreams their unique shape. It's why a single glance from someone in a dream can make your heart race. Why standing in an imagined forest can fill you with wonder. Why flying above the earth can feel more real than anything you've ever known. In waking life, emotions are often wrapped in layers, explanations, logic, distractions. But in dreams, they stand alone. They are pure, unfiltered, vivid. Sometimes, the emotions in dreams arrive like soft whispers, a feeling of comfort as you walk through a glowing night, a quiet sense of belonging as you meet someone whose face you can't quite see. Other times, they arrive like thunder, sharp, sudden, powerful, a rush of fear, a wave of awe, a deep, silent joy. Dreams allow emotions to stretch their wings. They let feelings rise to the surface without needing to be explained or named. Breathe in slowly and out gently. Let that truth settle around you like night air. Some scientists believe this is one of the most important purposes of dreaming, to process and regulate emotion. During the day, your mind gathers experiences big and small. It may not have time to truly feel everything in the moment, but at night, in dreams, those emotions are given space. They are sifted through, softened, reshaped. A fear may become a shadow in a hallway that vanishes when you face it. A longing may become a door opening onto a sunlit garden. A joy may become a flight through a sky without end. This is your brain's way of tending to your inner world. Even unpleasant dreams can hold quiet purpose. A storm in a dream does not always mean turmoil. Sometimes it is the mind's way of learning to breathe through what once felt heavy. Sometimes it is emotion learning how to heal. Imagine standing in a dreamscape, an endless meadow beneath a velvet sky. The air is soft. The stars shine like distant fires. You can feel something in your chest, not quite joy, not quite sorrow, something in between. That feeling, even without a name, is real. Dreams give it a home, a shape, a place to be felt without fear. Many people awaken from dreams carrying only a trace of emotion. The story fades like smoke, but the feeling lingers. A warm calm, a subtle ache, a quiet happiness. This is not an accident. It is the emotional language of your mind, still humming softly beneath the surface. In this way, dreams act as bridges between your inner world and the world outside. They help emotions flow freely, so they don't get stuck. They remind the heart that it can stretch, bend, and release. Breathe deeply now. In and out. Let your own emotions settle softly inside you. In the dream state, the emotional brain does something else remarkable. It loosens boundaries. You may meet someone you've never known, and yet feel an overwhelming sense of love or trust. You may stand at the edge of a vast ocean and feel a peace too deep for words. These moments don't follow logic because they don't need to. They are pure feeling, written in the language of night. And when fear comes, because sometimes it does, dreams still have their quiet work. Even fearful dreams serve a purpose. They are the brain's way of rehearsing, of preparing, of processing what frightens us in a place where we are safe. This is why many people who experience fear in dreams wake with clearer hearts. The fear doesn't always vanish, but it softens, losing its sharp edges. It becomes something the mind can carry without breaking. Throughout history, people have believed dreams were messages, and in a way, they are. Not messages from outside, but from within, from the deepest, quietest parts of ourselves. Emotions we didn't have space for in the day speak to us at night, not in words, but in feelings and images. The emotional core of dreaming is ancient. It predates language. It moves beneath thought. Even in the earliest humans, the emotional brain was the first to awaken when the eyes closed. It is why the stories of dreams are so universal. Why love, fear, wonder, loss, and hope appear in dreams across every culture, every time, every life. In a sense, your dreams are part of a vast emotional map that humanity shares. A quiet, invisible thread tying us together across centuries. The warmth of a hand, the thrill of flight, the fear of falling, the wonder of a sky full of stars. We have all felt these things in dreams. Tonight, as your mind drifts deeper into sleep, your emotional self is at work. Not working in the way the waking mind does, not in words or plans, but in something far gentler. Like a tide washing the shore, smoothing the sand. Every heartbeat is part of this rhythm. Every breath carries you further inward. Every emotion is welcome here. If your dreams tonight are joyful, let them hold you like a warm current. If they are strange, let them unfold without question. If they are heavy, know that even heavy dreams have soft purposes. Because in the world of dreams, emotion is not a burden. It is the language of your truest self. The night does not ask you to understand every feeling. It simply gives those feelings a place to rest. Breathe softly. Let your chest rise and fall. Let the language of emotion wash gently through you. Tomorrow, when you wake, you may not remember these dreams, but your heart will, your body will, your mind will carry the gentle traces of the night's emotional work. Dreaming is how we feel when the world is silent. It's how the soul whispers to itself. And tonight, your emotional self is speaking softly, beneath the surface of your sleep, beneath the quiet sky of your mind. The night has settled fully now. You're far from the shore of wakefulness, floating in a world where everything seems familiar, and yet nothing obeys the rules you once knew. This is the world of dream logic, a realm where rivers can flow upward, the past and future can stand side by side, and a single moment can stretch into infinity. Breathe softly. Let the night press gently against your skin like warm air. Let your mind settle into the strange and quiet rhythm of dreaming. The waking mind demands structure. It builds timelines, connects cause to effect, searches for meaning. But when you dream, the rational brain, the prefrontal cortex softens. It grows quiet, like a lighthouse dimming as the tide rolls in, and in its place, the dreaming brain begins to write in its own language, fluid, shifting, unpredictable. It is not chaos, it is a different kind of order. In dreams, logic is elastic. It bends without breaking. It allows a street to turn into a river in one step, and a childhood friend to speak with a voice you've never heard. It allows the sky to split open into endless galaxies, and a door to open into a room that has never existed before. And somehow, as strange as these things are, they feel completely natural while you're dreaming. You don't stop to question why the ocean is in the living room, or why the sun has 2 moons. You simply accept. That is dream logic. A kind of quiet trust between the dreaming mind and its own imagination. This is one of the most mysterious and beautiful aspects of the human brain. During REM sleep, your sense of critical reasoning steps aside. The world no longer needs to make sense. Instead, it simply needs to be felt. And because of that, anything is possible. The impossible becomes ordinary. The extraordinary becomes familiar. Imagine walking through a forest made of glass. The trees glimmer softly, but you do not question why they don't shatter. You just keep walking. You feel the smooth earth beneath your feet, hear the soft chime of leaves, and accept the world exactly as it is. This is how dreams hold you, not through logic, but through sensation. The dreaming brain doesn't need explanations. It creates worlds and trusts itself to live in them. Some researchers describe this as a form of hyperassociation. In the absence of strict reasoning, your mind freely connects distant pieces of memory, emotion, and imagination. A scent from childhood might weave itself into a city that doesn't exist. A song you once heard might shape the sky. A single passing thought may bloom into a landscape. These connections are not mistakes. They are the architecture of dreams. Breathe in slowly, breathe out softly. Feel how your own thoughts are light as mist now, drifting without shape. Dream logic also reshapes time. In dreams, you can live entire lifetimes in minutes. You can walk down a hallway that stretches endlessly, or stand in a single moment that refuses to move. You can meet someone who seems to have always known you, even though they don't exist anywhere but here. This is because, in dreams, the linear sense of time collapses. Your brain does not measure seconds, it measures feeling. This is why some dreams feel eternal and others vanish before they can even begin. It's why you can wake with the sense of having travelled far, even though only a few minutes have passed. And yet, as strange as it all is, you belong here. Your brain built this place. It shaped every corner, every flicker of light, every sound. There's something gentle in this realization. The dream is not against you. It's not a puzzle you have to solve. It's a landscape you're allowed to drift through. Even nightmares, those moments when dream logic twists into something unsettling, are built from the same material. Your thoughts, your emotions, your memories. They feel overwhelming, but even then, they are reflections. Not prophecies, not punishments, just echoes in the night. When the prefrontal cortex rests, the limbic system, the emotional core, takes the lead. It guides the story not with structure, but with mood. That is why dreams feel true even when they are impossible. Your heart believes before your mind can question. This is also why, when you awaken from a vivid dream, there can be a moment of confusion, a soft blur where both worlds overlap. The rational brain comes back online and asks, how could that be? But in the dream, it simply was. This in-between space is fragile and beautiful. It is where waking and dreaming meet, like two tides touching at the edge of night. Many cultures throughout history have tried to interpret dream logic. They've written entire books, built rituals, sought meaning in symbols. But perhaps the truest way to understand dream logic is not to analyze it, but to feel it. Because dream logic isn't designed to be solved, it's designed to free the mind. Breathe softly again, in and out. Let your breath be the only anchor you need. In this world, every door opens. Every sky can change color. Every path leads somewhere new. You can be both child and elder, wanderer and witness. You can stand on a shore that does not exist and still feel the sand between your toes. Dream logic allows the impossible to feel intimate. This is part of why dreams are so powerful. They bypass the boundaries of waking life, giving you space to imagine, to process, to wander. When morning comes, you may not remember the story, but the feeling remains the feeling of having travelled somewhere just beyond language. Even when dreams are fragmented, faces without names, places without maps, they still carry their quiet meaning. Because dream logic is not about clarity, it's about freedom. It gives your mind permission to be limitless. This strange, beautiful logic lives inside all of us. It is not a flaw. It is a feature, a reminder that beneath all the careful structures of our waking lives, the mind is still capable of wonder. Breathe deeply now. Feel the air move through you like a gentle current. Let your thoughts float freely, without needing to make sense. The world of dreams is not a maze. It's a sea, and you are floating through it, weightless, without boundaries. Even now, as your body rests, your mind is writing its soft, illogical story, one that belongs only to you. A story where rules bend, time folds, and anything is possible. This is dream logic. Strange, beautiful, infinite. And tonight, it carries you deeper into the heart of your sleeping mind. The night is deep now. The tide of sleep has carried you far from the waking world. Here, in the quiet beneath the stars of the mind, not all dreams are gentle. Some come dressed in shadow. Some stir the quiet surface of your rest. These are nightmares, dark dreams. They are part of the same world as the soft dreams, the warm ones, the floating ones, but they speak in a different tone, a deeper one, a whisper that sometimes turns into a roar. Breathe softly. Feel the weight of the blankets around you. You are safe. Even as we wander through this darker landscape, remember, nightmares cannot harm you. They are not made of the outside world. They are made of you, of emotion, of memory, of the soft, hidden corners of the mind. Nightmares are not intruders. They are messengers. They come not to frighten, but to reveal. When scientists study dreams, they find that nightmares arise most often during REM sleep, the same stage where imagination blooms brightest. The brain's emotional center, the amygdala, is glowing fiercely in these moments. The body remains still, but the heart and mind awaken to something intense. Fear is an ancient feeling. It has lived inside the human mind since long before language. And in dreams, fear takes on shape. It becomes shadow. It becomes storm. It becomes a story. But here is something important. Nightmares are rarely literal. They are the language of emotion wearing a mask. A chase through a dark forest might not be about what pursues you. A fall from the sky might not be about the ground below. A faceless figure might be nothing more than the weight of an unspoken worry. Dreams bend reality, and nightmares bend it too, but their goal is not cruelty. Their goal is processing, unburdening, letting your heart and mind move through what they could not speak in daylight. Breathe slowly, in and out. Let the sound of your breath be your anchor. Many nightmares come from stress or unresolved emotions, the small storms we carry silently during the day. But at night, the dreaming mind has no filters, no walls. It lets those storms unfold, not to hurt you, but to ease the pressure. It may not feel like it in the moment, but nightmares often help us heal. The emotional brain has a strange, beautiful wisdom. It doesn't always speak in ways that make sense. Instead, it shows us what weighs us down. In the waking world, fear is a feeling we often push away. But in dreams, fear is given form, and when fear has a form, it can fade. Nightmares are that moment when fear steps out of the shadows and becomes something your dreaming mind can look at, move through, and eventually release. Imagine this. You are in a forest. It's quiet, but there's a shape in the trees. Your heart beats faster. The ground feels unsteady. You want to run, but your feet feel heavy. And then, slowly, the shape moves closer. It's not what you thought. It never was. This is what happens beneath the surface of a nightmare. The unknown becomes known. The feeling becomes image. The weight becomes movement. Nightmares are also one of the oldest shared human experiences. Across centuries, across cultures, people have told stories of dark dreams, of being chased, of falling, of standing at the edge of something they can't quite name. And though the images differ, the feeling is the same. We have all walked through the shadowed parts of sleep. But what many don't realize is this: the body remains calm, even in fear. Even as the mind races through a nightmare, your muscles are still protected by rematonia. The danger isn't real. The fear is a reflection, projected like a shadow against the wall of your sleeping mind. When you awaken from a nightmare, your heart may pound, your breath may quicken, but that is the echo of emotion, not the storm itself. The storm never truly touched you. It only passed through. Breathe deeply now. Let the air return slowly to its soft rhythm. The shadows fade when the breath steadies. Nightmares also hold a curious power. Once faced, once understood, even gently they lose their sharpness. This is why many people over time find that the more they understand their nightmares, the softer they become. Like a wave breaking on the shore, the science behind this is gentle but profound. During nightmares, your brain is rehearsing emotion, especially fear. It is learning how to hold it without breaking, how to feel it without being consumed, how to let it pass. This is why, even though nightmares can feel intense, they often leave behind a strange lightness, a space where something heavy once lived. And not all dark dreams are born from fear. Some rise from grief, or longing, or the ache of something unfinished. These emotions, too, find their way into dreams, wearing shadows so they can be seen. Your mind does not judge these feelings. It simply opens its doors at night and lets them wander through. Breathe slowly. In and out. You are wrapped in the night. You are safe. Nightmares are often strongest in the young. Children, with their vivid imaginations and tender hearts, walk through these dark dreamscapes often. But even then, the purpose is the same: to teach the mind how to face what it fears in a place where nothing can truly harm it. As we grow older, nightmares may change. They may become subtler, more symbolic. A house instead of a monster, a silence instead of a scream. But they remain messengers, and they remain temporary. The moment you wake, the shadow dissolves, the forest disappears, the chase ends, and what remains is breath, the soft, steady breath. Your anchor, even in the deepest shadow, the breath remains. Some cultures speak of nightmares as spirits, as visitors. Others as messages. Science speaks of them as neural storms, but perhaps they are all of these things and none of them. Perhaps nightmares are simply part of being human, part of how the mind, in its endless wisdom, learns to carry the weight of feeling. The important truth is this: nightmares are not stronger than you. They are made of your own mind, and your mind knows how to let them go. When you dream of falling, you are never truly falling. When you dream of running, your body does not move. When you dream of shadows, the light remains, just outside the frame. Even the darkest dream is temporary. Even the heaviest fear can dissolve into quiet. So, breathe now. Let the air fill your chest like soft light. Let your body feel the stillness beneath everything. The shadows of nightmares belong to the same night sky as the stars of gentle dreams. They rise, they pass, they fade. The night holds both light and dark, and your mind moves through both, safely. If nightmares come, let them pass like storms. Let them speak their strange language, then let them go. Your breath is steady, your body is safe, the night is still, and the shadows, too, are part of the story. There is a rare and luminous moment that sometimes happens while we sleep, a moment when the fog between waking and dreaming thins, and something inside you gently stirs. You open your eyes not to the room around you, but to the dream itself, and for a heartbeat, or perhaps for much longer, you know, I'm dreaming. This is called lucid dreaming. It is the soft awakening inside a dream, the awareness that the world around you is made of your own mind. The sky, the walls, the sea, the stars, all of it exists only in the glowing darkness behind your closed eyelids. And yet, in that moment, it feels real. Real in a way only dreams can feel. Warm, weightless, infinite. Breathe softly, in and out. The night holds you gently, like the ocean cradles a drifting boat. Lucid dreams are not just stories you passively move through. They are landscapes you can shape. They are places where the dreamer becomes both traveller and guide. In the waking world, the laws of physics hold you. But here, in the lucid world, the only law is imagination. You might rise slowly into the air, feeling no wind, no pull of gravity, only the pure, effortless sensation of floating. You might walk through a forest and watch the trees shimmer as if they know you're awake inside the dream. You might speak to someone and see them look back not as a stranger, but as a reflection of something deeper within you. Lucid dreaming is not about control in the hard sense. It is about awareness, a soft awakening, a quiet realization. This world is mine to wander. Scientists have studied this phenomenon for decades. They've discovered that lucid dreams occur most often during REM sleep, when the brain is most active and vivid imagery floods the mind. In these moments, parts of the prefrontal cortex, which usually rest during normal dreaming, begin to flicker awake. Awareness returns, but only partially, just enough to let you know you're inside the dream. It's as if your consciousness becomes a soft light glowing in a vast starry night. For many, this realization is gentle, almost like floating on the edge of two worlds. You are still deeply asleep, body still, breath steady, but your mind has lifted its head ever so slightly, looked around, and whispered, "I see." Lucid dreams can be quiet and intimate. They don't have to be grand adventures. Some are as simple as walking through a familiar room with new eyes, or standing beneath a sky you know isn't real and feeling wonder bloom in your chest. Breathe in and out. Let the softness of that thought settle around you. One of the most beautiful aspects of lucid dreaming is the freedom it brings. Because when you know you are dreaming, fear often fades. The shadow that once chased you reveals itself to be nothing more than a wisp of thought. The walls of a room can melt away into a sea of stars. And you can walk into that sea without hesitation. It is a reminder that even in the deepest corners of your mind, you are not powerless. Some people learn to encourage lucid dreams through gentle techniques like noticing their surroundings during the day or repeating soft reminders before sleep. Others stumble into them by accident, a sudden spark of awareness in the middle of the night. But however it happens, lucid dreaming is not about forcing the dream to obey. It's about meeting the dream where it lives. It's about walking through the world your mind has made with gentle steps. Even inside a lucid dream, the world feels alive. The wind may move through your hair, the stars may pulse like breathing hearts, the ground may hum softly beneath your feet. These sensations are woven by the brain so seamlessly that, for a time, they become a kind of truth. This is what makes lucid dreaming so strange and so beautiful. You are both creator and explorer, both sculptor and sculpture. The walls you touch, the paths you follow, the skies you fly through, they are all built by your mind in real time. And the moment you stop to notice them, they shimmer brighter. But even this bright awareness is fragile. It can flicker out like a candle in wind. Many people find themselves slipping in and out of lucidity, aware one moment, carried away by the story the next. This is natural. The dream wants to flow. And lucidity is like dipping your hands into a river. You can hold it for a moment, but not forever. That is part of the magic. Lucid dreams can also be healing. For some, they offer a gentle way to face fears in a safe space. For others, they are a wellspring of creativity, a place to paint with the mind itself, to wander through ideas too vast for waking life. For many, they are simply a quiet joy. And though lucid dreams feel rare, they are more common than most people realize. Almost everyone has touched this edge at least once, standing in a dream and realizing they are dreaming. A single breath of clarity, a flicker of light in the darkness. Breathe deeply now. Let that idea wash through you gently. Lucidity is not something you have to chase. It's something that sometimes finds you. Even without effort, the mind is capable of astonishing things. Every night, it builds worlds, and sometimes it lets you stand awake inside them. But lucid dreaming is not better than ordinary dreaming. It's just different, a different room in the same house, a different song in the same night. Even if lucidity fades, the dream continues its soft, winding path, carrying you deeper into rest. And when morning comes, the memory may linger a single image, a feeling of flight, a bright sky with no sun. Or it may dissolve completely, leaving only a quiet trace. That, too, is enough. Because the true wonder of lucid dreaming is not the power it gives, but the gentle reminder it carries. The mind is vast. You are vast. And within you lives an entire universe waiting to be explored. Breathe slowly. In and out. Feel the night folding softly around you. You are drifting in your own starry sea. And whether you are aware or not, whether you are dreaming softly or lucidly, your mind is a sky without borders. Why do we dream? It is one of the oldest questions humans have ever asked beneath the night sky. And even now, after centuries of wonder, after science has charted stars and mapped the human brain, the truth remains wrapped in mystery, soft, quiet, and beautifully unsolved. Breathe softly, in and out. Feel the stillness of the night settle gently against your skin. Every night, without asking, your mind slips into dreams. Not because it must entertain you, not because it needs to tell a story, but because dreaming is woven into the fabric of being human. It happens to the lonely and to the loved, to the young and to the old, to every heart that beats beneath the same moonlit sky. Ancient peoples once believed that dreams were messages, gifts from gods, spirits, or the stars themselves. They built rituals around them. They whispered their dreams to firelight, to rivers, to each other. In some cultures, dreams were prophecy. In others, they were maps of the soul. And perhaps, in their own way, they were right. Dreams have always been mirrors. Not always clear, not always kind, but always true to something within us. As centuries passed, science began to listen to dreams in its own language, not through prophecy, but through neurons, not through symbols, but through brain waves. Even then, the mystery deepened, because the more we learned about how dreams happen, the less we seemed to understand why. Breathe slowly. Feel the weight of your body sink into the softness beneath you. One idea whispers that dreaming is memory at work, that when the world grows quiet and darkness falls, the mind begins sorting the day's moments, holding some close, letting others drift away. Another idea says dreams are a kind of emotional rehearsal, the brain's gentle way of teaching itself how to face joy, sorrow, fear, and hope. Some believe dreams are a playground for creativity, where the imagination is free from the boundaries of reason, where painters, poets, inventors, and wanderers find sparks they could never discover awake. And some believe dreams are simply what happens when the mind rests, a side effect of a brain that never truly sleeps. A quiet flicker of the consciousness beneath the surface. None of these ideas are complete, and perhaps the truth is that all of them are right in some way, because dreaming is not a single thread. It is a tapestry woven from memory, emotion, imagination, biology, and something far more mysterious. Every night, as your body sinks into sleep, your brain moves through its stages like gentle tides. Waves of activity rise and fall, your heart slows, your breathing softens, and somewhere inside that quiet ocean, dreams bloom. They are not ordered, they are not obedient, they are alive. Even in the most scientific explanations, there is still a spark of wonder that can't be explained away. Why do dreams sometimes feel more real than waking life? Why do they carry emotions so powerful they echo through the day? Why do some of them stay with us for years, while others vanish like mist at dawn? Breathe in deeply, and exhale slowly. The mystery lingers like starlight, soft and endless. Some researchers believe dreaming is part of evolution's long memory. Long before language, long before stories were written, our ancestors may have dreamed their fears, their hopes, their instincts into being. Dreams may have been one of the earliest ways the mind prepared itself for the world. In this way, dreams are older than history, older than words, older even than the names we give ourselves. Other thinkers believe dreams are a form of communication within the self, not from outside, but from the deepest parts of who we are, the parts that rarely speak during the day because the noise of the world is too loud. At night, when the noise fades, they rise. They speak in images, in sensations, in feelings that have no language. And still, there is a gentler possibility. Perhaps dreams are simply the soul's way of wandering. Perhaps they don't need a purpose beyond existing, like wind across a field, like starlight across a dark sea. You may notice this when a dream leaves you with nothing but a single feeling, a warmth in the chest, a faint ache, a sense of flying. That small residue is proof that something inside you wandered far and returned home. Dreams are also deeply personal. No two minds dream the same way. No two nights weave the same pattern. The landscapes are drawn from your own life, your memories, your emotions, your secret corners. Even the people you meet in dreams are often echoes of yourself, wearing borrowed faces. And yet, there is something universal about dreaming. Across the world, across cultures, across centuries, we all close our eyes. We all drift into the same mysterious ocean. We all dream. Even when we forget, the dreaming still happens. Even when the morning washes everything away, the night has already done its work. Breathe softly now. Let your breath rise and fall like waves. The question of why we dream may never have one answer, because perhaps it isn't meant to. Perhaps dreaming isn't a problem to solve, but a mystery to live with. Something that connects us to ourselves and to every other heart under the stars. Dreaming reminds us that we are more than what we see in daylight, that inside each of us lives a world vast and unknowable, a universe made of thought and memory and feeling and light. And every night we touch that universe, even if only for a heartbeat. When you close your eyes and drift into sleep, your mind sets sail on a journey as old as humanity. You might travel to distant cities that never existed. You might walk with people who've long since gone. You might meet your own heart in the shape of something you don't yet understand. But the journey is yours, and the mystery is part of it. Breathe in and breathe out. The night is quiet. The stars above your dreaming mind are infinite. Science can measure the rhythms of REM sleep. It can map the brain's glowing patterns. But it cannot measure wonder. It cannot measure the softness of a dream that feels like love. It cannot measure the way your chest lifts when you fly through an imagined sky. That is the part of dreaming that remains untouched, uncaptured, sacred. And maybe that's the most beautiful part, that every night we step into a mystery we can never fully name. And yet we trust it. We drift into it willingly, because dreaming, in its quiet, ancient way, reminds us that we are alive, not just in body, but in soul. The night is almost over now. The dream has been long and quiet, flowing like a river through unseen valleys. Above your sleeping form, the world has turned slowly toward the light, and in the soft darkness of your mind, something begins to shift. The tide is turning. The edges of waking are drawing near. Breathe softly. In and out. Let the last hours of night settle gently around you like silk. All night, your mind has wandered through vast landscapes, through storms and stillness, through dreams bright and dark. It has carried memories across the quiet ocean of sleep, untangled emotions, reshaped moments, and whispered its own stories back to you. Now, as the night deepens into its final stretch, the world outside begins to glow with the faintest light. The moon softens. The stars fade slowly, like embers cooling in the sky. Your breathing remains slow and steady, but something beneath the surface begins to rise, the subtle pull of morning. This is the quiet space between dreaming and waking, a threshold where two worlds meet. The mind does not rush here. It lingers. It floats. It remembers. Your body remains wrapped in warmth, your heartbeat steady, your breath calm. And your mind, though still soft with sleep, begins to feel the light brushing against it. The end of the night is gentle. It is not a door that slams open. It is a tide that rolls in, slowly, surely, lovingly. As morning approaches, the brain begins to shift its rhythm. The tides of REM sleep grow shorter. The waves of deep sleep ebb away. The prefrontal cortex, which had fallen quiet during the dream, begins to stir, stretching, blinking, lifting its head toward the dawn. The stories of the night begin to unravel softly, not violently, not with loss, but like mist dissolving in sunlight. Some fragments will stay a lingering image, a sound, a warm feeling. Others will fade before you even open your eyes. But they have already done their work. The night has already held you. Breathe in gently and exhale slowly. Let the rhythm guide you toward the surface of waking, not as a sudden climb, but as a soft ascent through water. This moment, this edge between sleep and wakefulness, is precious. It is the quietest part of the day, the fragile bridge where dreams bow their heads and let go. Many people rush through this moment, but if you linger here just a little, you can feel the echo of the night resting inside you, a stillness that the world has not yet touched. Imagine the world outside your window, the faint glow on the horizon, the first breaths of wind moving gently through trees, the silent hum of life before sound. It's as if the earth itself is taking its first deep breath of the day. And so are you. The night has been your cocoon, a space where you drifted beyond the borders of time, where your thoughts became stories, your feelings became landscapes, your mind became a sky with no walls. As the morning approaches, that cocoon doesn't shatter, it simply opens. Like a flower turning toward the light, breathe slowly. Feel your body where it rests. The softness of the pillow beneath your head, the gentle weight of the blanket on your chest, the safety of this moment. There is no need to hurry, no need to leap into the day before it calls you. Waking can be as soft as falling asleep. Your mind knows this rhythm. It has done this countless times before. the long exhale of the night, the slow inhale of morning. Even as you rise, a part of the night remains with you. The peace, the softness, the quiet wonder of everything you've dreamed. Scientists say the transition from sleep to wakefulness involves delicate waves of brain activity, a reawakening of networks, a reorientation of awareness. But what it feels like is far simpler. A gentle return, a slow, warm opening of the eyes to the world. It is during this time that many people carry the residue of their dreams. A single image, a feeling of floating, a sense of someone's voice. Like starlight at dawn, it lingers, only briefly, but its touch is real. Dreaming does not end the moment your eyes open. It trails behind like the tail of a comet, soft, glowing, fading slowly as you step into the light. Take another deep breath now, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Let your chest rise and fall like a quiet wave. There is something profoundly human about waking. The same heart that beats softly through the night beats still. The same mind that wandered through distant dreamscapes will soon notice the world again, the ceiling, the soft air, the whisper of a new day. But for now, you are in the in-between, still floating, still held by the night. As the last threads of sleep unwind, remember, your dreams are part of you. They are not separate from your life. They live in the quiet spaces between thought and breath. Carry them gently. Let them rest at the edge of your heart. And if the day ahead seems heavy, know that the night has already offered you something light, a journey only you could take. A soft reminder of how vast you are inside. Breathe again. Feel your body slowly come alive, your fingers, your toes, the stretch of your back, the slow widening of your awareness. Do not rush. You are arriving. Outside, the sun may be climbing the sky. Inside, you are carrying starlight with you. The end of the night is not an ending at all. It is a beginning, a quiet one, wrapped in the gentle weight of all the dreams you've ever had. When you finally open your eyes, the world will be waiting, but so will the echo of the night, soft, calm, steady. A quiet strength you can take with you. And if, at any time during the day, you close your eyes and breathe deeply, you might hear it again. The hush of the night, the whisper of your own dreaming mind, a reminder. The stars are still there, even when the sun rises.